Hello everyone, you are welcome to this live interactive lecture coming to you from Mr. ELAD, and I'm a lecturer at the Ghana Institute of Journalism, and this afternoon I'm here to present to you a live lecture in a very, very conversational way with my TA, Abraham, popularly known as AB. And so AB will be helping me in this conversation so that we can have a live interactive session with you, and I'm sure you'll be able to, or you will enjoy this lesson. It is all about advertising.
Exactly.
AB, what do you think?
Yes, I think this section is going to be a very powerful one. It's the first of its kind.
Yes.
We haven't been live with this lecture before, but I'm sure you've watched most of our videos on advertising techniques. But today we want to go live to come up with everything that you want to ask about advertising. So drop down your comments in the live section below. I'm going to go through the comments. If you have any questions, ask your questions, and Mr. ELAD here would warmly answer every question you have.
Certainly so. I mean, as you can see on the screen, the topic for today is television advertising techniques, and another name for it is television advertising styles or appeals. And I'm going to teach you about 10 various styles of presentation that you can actually use for your television commercials. And by the time we are ending, you'll be glad you did join us in this session.
Exactly. So, Mr. ELAD, so going straight forward, we'd like to talk about So what are the objectives for today's advertising techniques?
Well, AB, certainly we need to know the objectives for this lesson. As you can see on the screen, by the end of the lesson, students should be able to identify the advertising techniques, okay, and the various styles that are available for you to be able to present your TV advertising. Secondly, define advertising techniques. And then thirdly, identify the essentials for producing or presenting a television advert. And those are listed in 3 points, which I'll explain in the next session.
Okay. So powerful. I think straightforward. Let's quickly look at the essentials. If we can have the essentials. So what is the rationale? If we are talking about identifying essentials in advertising, what is rationale?
All right. So the 3 objectives will be explained, or the 3 essentials will be explained. But first of all, let's look at the definition for advertising techniques. Okay. What is advertising techniques to begin with? And an advertising appeal, okay, or technique is an approach that uses a type of message, okay, that is presented presented in a way to actually influence, okay, influence the consumer, and then relate the product to the message in the advert. All right, and the emphasis is on presentation, not necessarily the message, but the presentation and how you present the advert. AB. All right, so in order to reach the consumer, the right appeal or technique, okay, needs to be used, and that is based on the objective of the campaign and the type of consumer that you are targeting. All right, so the definition is quite straightforward, and for me the emphasis is on the mode of presentation of the advert, okay, and that's what we are looking at. Yes, there's a message you want to present, you intend to deliver it to your audience, but what mode of presentation or method of presentation are you going to adopt? There are several of them, and we are going to look at them in this live lecture this afternoon.
Okay, great. So quickly then, let's look at the rationale behind advertising techniques.
Great. So as we mentioned earlier, as part of the objectives, we mentioned that at the end of this lesson, you should be able to understand the essentials, or the 3 essentials underpinning TV advertising techniques that we tend to use in advertising. We don't just use any form of presentation or any mode of presentation. Whichever form of presentation we adopt, we need to ensure that they are guided by these 3 things. In other words, these 3 things, 3 essentials must be part of the presentation. All right. It's either you are using one of them or a combination of them.
Okay.
All right. So the rationale, first of all, is supposed to explain the fact that you need to present the advert, irrespective of the technique, in a way that should cognitively, affect your audience, attract the attention of your audience, engage their minds, and then get them to think about the brand. So you have the word concept and cognitive, and then comprehensible. The fact that you should be able to speak to their intelligence, speak to their minds, and engage their minds to be able to actually think about the brand. So it doesn't matter the type of presentation you are using, but you should be able to fulfill this particular essential requirement. All right. Then secondly, you should also ensure that you are presenting your advert in an informative way. The fact that it should give your audience information,
information about the product.
Exactly. Whether it is enough, inadequate, or whatever, there should be some form of information, or some level of information that your audience should be able to follow, and that's what we call insights. So your audience should be able to pick up insights from your advert as you present the advert. I'm sure you are interested in the third one, and you want to know what that is. The third one is quite a sensitive one because it is called emotional appeal. The fact that you should be able to present your advert with the emotional context. That make sure your advert affects the feelings of your audience, not in a negative way, but in a positive way. If it has to be negative, then it is for a reason, because you are probably using one technique or another, which requires that their feelings are provoked,
to make them
for them to learn something out of it. You know, sometimes something can be come in the form of a negative whatever, but it is for your learning, or it is for a lesson. But ideally, the emotional aspect is to ensure that you are stimulating or exciting the senses of your audience. And by senses, I'm saying that appeal to the vision of the audience, which has got to do with their eyes. Appeal to their smell, which has got to do with their nose. Appeal to their ear.
All of that's in an ad.
Yes, which has got to do with the audible aspects of the advert. And appeal to their mouth, which has got to do with the taste. So these senses or sensory organs must be excited, or must be. That's what we call appeal. Yes, you stimulate them. So, for example, if you are advertising Wache, you should be able to, with your Wache, appeal to the vision or the visual aspect of the audience. As soon as they see it, it should appeal to them. Then, secondly, it should appeal to their taste.
Like Coca-Cola.
Even Coca-Cola.
In their ads, it's crazy.
So
from the opening of the cork, the sound, to the pouring it in the.
So you feel the bubbles coming up.
Oh damn!
And then quickly
they use emotional appeal a lot.
That is it.
In the ads.
Exactly. So it gives you appetite, and then quickly you see that your taste buds are stimulated, and you want to buy the product, or you want to taste it. So
the sweating bottle of the Coke.
That is the idea. So make sure that whichever form of presentation you are using, or mode of presentation you are using, you are also stimulating the feelings of your audience. And in advertising, that is so important, because we always want to stimulate. We have what we call stimulus response, and that response is required from the audience. But unless you stimulate them, you cannot have that response. So that is what makes that point very, very important.
Wow, I think I'm already enjoying this, and for me, I love the emotional appeal a lot. And you know, in Ghana here, most of the ads use emotional appeal technique. They use it all the time, and I see that in almost every ad. If they are not making you laugh, they are making you smile, they're making you feel like going out to go and buy the product that very same day. And Coca-Cola does that a lot. With their ads. So, Mr. ELAD, is there more fun, because you're already enjoying this? But a quick one: if you are watching us live on Facebook, you can send us your comments. And if you have any question, you can ask us right here. We'll give you all the questions. I mean, you can't get this anywhere. Right here, It's a live lecture and it's free and open to everyone. So students of GIJ, the entire public, you can ask questions here right now and would ask your questions here. Mr. ELAD is here live to answer your questions. So yes, so let's continue. I think I want to know more.
Great.
What more do you have in store for us?
Great. So I think at this stage, having understood the 3 essentials underpinning TV advertising techniques, we need to move to the various techniques and look at what techniques are available for us to use. Okay?
Exactly.
So let's look at the various types. Like I mentioned earlier that there are about 10 of them. So just stick and stay glued to your seat.
Exactly.
And I'm going to explain each one of these. Not in a latent way, but actually in an illustrative way, demonstrating to you how each one of them looks like and how. First one is animation. The first one is animation, and animation is a brilliant technique, which of course is powered by technology because softwares are available for you to be able to use animation technique to advertise your product. But please always remember that you can have animation in different forms. You can have the 2D animation, 3D animation, and this time around 4D is even available. Okay,
exactly.
And people are even trying to create even different types of Ds.
Exactly.
Even in music and
Exactly.
and song production.
Yes, it's
sound
dimensions.
engineers, sound engineers are trying to create HDs and things like that.
Exactly.
Yes. So
I love to
even
enjoy music now in HD.
Exactly. I
Exactly.
mean,
Your ears
so
are just
you feel that surround effect. Okay,
Exactly.
but in advertising, yes, we use a 2D and a 3D, and on your screen you can see that there's an example from Cowbell. Okay, and I think that should be Onga. All right, and this is the type of technique that basically creates a mascot. Okay, creates a character mascot, and that character mascot comes in the form of a cartoon. But the cartoon can be either 2-dimensional or 3-dimensional, and the 3-dimensional is a more enhanced model or character, having eyes, nose, and everything, and looks very much appealing, and would sometimes be talking to you like an avatar will be talking to you.
Exactly.
Yes, so the technique is such that you just have to create a problem, okay, and then let that mascot become the solution. Okay, because usually the mascot stands for the product, and the product can be animated. So it's either you are creating a mascot to represent the brand or the product, or you create the product itself, or turn the product into an animated being to actually bring a solution to the audience or the consumer on set. Because a problem has been created and the solution has come through the mascot and that kind of thing. So
I think sometimes we have a blend of these two. We have a blend of live actions and animations.
Yes.
So whilst the actors are playing their part in the adverts,
yes,
we have the animations, the animated,
exactly. So sometimes
bottled drinks.
Sometimes you have that combination.
Exactly.
Yes,
Most
sometimes you have that combination. I mean, Cowbell is good at that. They're able to present a live human being, like in the form of school pupils.
Exactly.
Okay, children
Mixing them up.
who tend to converse or have a conversation with the animated character or the character mascots. Yes, which also brings a solution to the school children on set. So that is how animation is used as a technique to present the message or the advert to us. Okay, there are so many of them we can mention. I remember Glyco of old, but it's still relevant today because you see that Glyco's advert used a 2D model. Parts of it were 3D, but you see that up until now it has survived because it has used animation technique. One of the caveats I need to put in here, or a word of caution, is that before you use animation technique, determine the type of style that your industry uses. And whether the animation is good for your product and the industry that your product belongs. So let me simplify it. For example, if your product is a fast moving consumer good, like energy drink. I won't mention any brand, but like energy drink or what do you call it? A soft drink. All right, great. Such products usually are, fast moving. People consume them a lot. So when you use animation technique to create them or create the advert, it is best fit or it suits the product.
Exactly, because an everyday consumable good.
It could be bread, and you can animate the bread like gingerbread man. Okay, and that bread man becomes a character, which is bringing some solution, some excitement, taste, and all that or satisfaction to the audience. So it is good for fast-moving consumer goods, but it may not be good for consumer durables like washing machines, air conditioners, and things like that. Product, because those are heavy-duty, goods. And if you animate them, because of the bulky nature of them, you can't have them. But if you talk about energy drink, it comes handy, and you can animate that kind of thing.
I think that is where the blend,
milk,
the blend of the live action and the animation comes in.
Okay, so you need to look at where your brand belongs and which industry. Okay, before you use animation technique.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, that is a powerful insight. Yeah. Okay, great. I think so. I think these characters here are in 3D already.
Yes.
Yeah.
So if you remember Mickey Mouse, and then even Kellogg's also has a character mascot which looks like Mickey Mouse.
Mickey Mouse. Okay.
Yes, but it's customized for Kellogg's.
Exactly. These ads we never forget these ads because
no.
They especially I think some animations are made to suit products that target children.
Yes, exactly.
Especially with cowbell ads.
Yes, I mean dairy products.
Exact dairy products.
Like I mentioned, bread, drinks, soft drinks, and even you remember Refresh.
Yes.
But this time around we have them in different
types.
Yes,
I remember Refresh.
Juicy and all of those.
Then maybe babies who don't know what Refresh is.
Exactly. But for children's products are well or best presented in animation.
In animation,
because children can relate with that.
Exactly.
It appeals to them. And it makes them, want to have the product. And of course, children will always pester their parents to buy the product for them. They wouldn't buy it, but parents will have to buy it.
And they'll even sing along.
Exactly.
They'll sing along in the ads.
Exactly.
And all that. Okay, great. So I think one down. We have 9 more to go.
Yeah.
And if you're already enjoying this is free. You're not sitting in a classroom to learn this
at all.
And right after this lecture, we'll upload the slides onto our YouTube channel.
Yes.
The video will also be there. You can go and watch it later, pause and replay again. Some are saying that the internet is not so good, so the slides are not too visible. I think the internet is not stable at your end, but it's quite visible here on my tablet. So try to readjust yourself.
Right. So the comments are flowing.
Yes, we are having a lot of comments.
So let your questions also come
so
as you watch.
Whilst you're having your comments coming in, if you have any questions along the line, ask if you want to add make a submission to the advertising techniques.
Exactly.
Maybe you've had some experience with animations and the advertising technique.
Yes.
Can you let us know?
You can share it with us on the page. I mean,
exactly.
The comments part.
Exactly. I'm tempted to read some of the comments, but let's get.
I think we'll do that appropriate.
Exactly, we'll do that appropriate time. We'll get to the middle part of it, and also visit our website www.eladhub.com. You see most of these videos out there. We created them in animated forms for you to quickly learn.
Exactly,
and it's free actually. So just subscribe to the channel and make sure you don't miss any of our videos. So, Mr. Ella, let's continue.
Yes.
I'm sure you have more for us. This is just one. Let's look at the rest of the ads.
Yes. Certainly. I mean, there are more. The next one I want to talk about is fantasy appeal or fantasy technique. This is the type of technique, okay, that is created around a product, or you build fun around the product, okay, to advertise the product. So in other words, advertise the product using fantasy. And fantasy basically means that you take your audience from a state of reality to a state of fiction. Okay. A world that does not really exist, but you make them feel happy in that kind of world. Okay. Yes, and it aligns well with a social appeal, okay, and the need to identify with something bigger than one's self. Examples that we have is Fanta Share the Fun, which was some time ago. I don't think it's still on our sets, but it's popular. And then we have McDonald's advert, which advertises ice cream, which you can see over there. It says that a little taste of summer with ice cream. So enjoy summer, and you see, you know, how people tend to enjoy summer, you know, bare-chested, half naked, whatever, in the palms, in the beach or somewhere. But they have actually blended it with ice cream to make you have that feeling of summer and enjoy ice cream within the summer, because ice cream goes with summer. But better than winter, because in the winter when it's cold, you don't want to, you know. So that example from McDonald's make it ideal. But also Coca-Cola is good at this. They sometimes use the fantasy appeal, take you into a world of fiction and bring you back. And sometimes
Guinness does that too.
Exactly.
I think one Guinness ad I watched, I think there was the earth crust was turning upside down.
Yes.
Once the bottle turns this way,
yes,
the entire
then you see that it tends to stagger.
Exactly.
It's almost like the earth is cracking into two, and the bottle is surviving.
So that is also fantasy.
Exactly. Okay. At the end of the day, you know, the product becomes the hero.
Exactly.
In a fantasy world,
exactly.
Or in a world of, let's say, sci-fi, and then you present the product in that mode, and the product becomes a hero. So sometimes they create like a mission and a rescue mission, or they create a problem where somebody has to be rescued, and the product comes to the rescue of the person in the ad, and the person falls in love with the brand.
I think there was one.
It works that way.
There was a Ghanaian ad out there, an energy drink, and the guy took the I think we're lifting a generator onto a truck.
Yes.
And he couldn't lift the generator, and then one guy had to just drink the energy drink.
Yes.
And all of a sudden he could just
had the energy
to just lift.
Yes.
To lift the energy drink into the truck.
Exactly. So
single-handed.
Yes. So I mean, a bit of that is fantasy.
Okay.
Not entirely, but a bit of it in the sense that it's not real, that you can really take a drink and become strong suddenly to pick up something as heavy as that. But on the flip side, it's also more of like the problem solution approach.
Okay.
They create a problem and they let the brand become a solution. That's it.
Exactly. Wow.
It's the fastest way to go.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow.
So let's move on to the next one.
Yes, let's have the next one.
Let's see the next technique. The next technique is testimonial appeal. And I want to say or mention something important over here, that this particular technique cannot be studied alone. I have to actually teach you this testimonial technique alongside with endorsement technique and then personality role model approach.
Okay.
There's a lot to say here, so please pay attention. I hope your internet works, as somebody was complaining. But don't worry, you'll get it later on YouTube and you can get to watch it. But just stay tuned. Now, testimonial is so important. And there's a difference between testimonial appeal, endorsement appeal, and then personality role model appeal. In spite of the fact that there is something similar among the three. Okay, so I'm going to first of all share the differences, then I'll show you the similar things.
Okay.
All right. Now, testimonial is a type of technique which uses a model, okay, who is supposed to be a real user of the product, okay, or the brand, and therefore the user is in the best position to testify about the brand or the product, because he has used the brand, he has used the product, and he has actually had a feel of it, and therefore is in the best position to explain to us or testify to us that this is how the brand works. Therefore, use the brand. Okay. So the person has to be a bona fide user of the brand. If the person is not a bona fide user of the brand, he has no business telling us or testifying about the brand, because the word is testimony. Testimonial. You know, when we were in secondary school and after school, if you had to go for testimonial, it is actually a write-up about yourself and how you performed you behaved in school.
Exactly.
So somebody should be able to testify about your behavior, your act. Yes, somebody in the position to do so.
Exactly.
Now, it is in the same vein that we use this technique, that if the consumer has not used the brand, he cannot testify about it.
Are there any legal issues with regards to
There are serious legal implications to this. That if you are not a bona fide user of the brand and you are found to be testifying about the brand on set in a television advertising because an agency has used you as a model to do so, if somebody picks you on and begins to challenge your eligibility, then you could be found on the wrong side of the law.
Wow.
Because it borders on legal issues.
So not just anyone can just decide to.
So in advertising, we will have what we call testimonials and legality. And the fact that if the person advertising is a bona fide user of the brand or a real user of the brand, then the advert becomes legal. But if the person is not a bona fide user of the brand and yet testifies about it, the advert becomes illegal.
Wow.
It becomes illegal. All right. So we need to note this and ensure that we do the right thing, because it's got to do with code of practice. And of course, to be professionals, we need to work within the confines of the code of practice.
All right.
And
so,
people have a lot of questions about this, I'm sure.
Exactly. So quickly, the second one, I think the fantasy Anima Ajiman.
Yes.
Ajiman is asking, said, please, in advertising products like shoes and clothes, can fantasy appeal be used?
Well, for such products like shoes and clothes, I don't think fantasy is ideal. No, fantasy is not ideal for such brands. And like I said, you need to look at the industry first, where your brand belongs, and then look at the appropriate technique that is used. So if fantasy will not be good for your product or your industry, don't use it. Use what the industry uses.
Okay.
Yeah. Great.
Okay. Great. So I think your question
is there a question on the testimonials? Because I thought there would be a question.
Not yet.
Not yet. I'm sure some will come.
Yes,
but we can see an example here that Proactive Plus, which is a body lotion and kills acne, on your skin, is one of the examples you can cite for testimonial appeal. That this young man, having appeared in this ad, assumes, or we presume that he's a user. But there's nothing here that shows that this model is a user. So the question is that how do you know that this model is a user? Now, the best way to use testimonial is when, let's say, there's a raffle draw, and then some people participated in the raffle draw and they won the draw on the day of the the award,
the day of the grand prize,
the grand finale, and they were awarded. So once those people have participated in the draw and they've won a prize, then they are in the best position to testify about the draw the next time that it is done.
I think in our Ghanaian ads, I see a lot of testimonial ads, a lot of them, especially from the Ashanti side. I think the drinks and the medicines especially. So in the ad, herbal medicines especially, you see a lot of the ads.
A lot of people.
Very funny one.
You
see a woman sucking her husband or leaving the house because the husband cannot perform well. And from nowhere, a man appears. Oh, then wait. When I saw me, that kind of thing. So I think that is testimonial, right?
Yes, it is supposed to be. But you see, whoever is testifying about the brand and submitting the brand to the person, it depends on what the person says. If the person doesn't testify about the brand by mentioning certain things that he has experienced about the brand, then it is not testimonial. It is just problem solution approach. But they have to mention what the product has done for them and share their experience.
Exactly what is in those
then
ads.
It makes it testimonial.
Exactly.
So if it doesn't, then you can't qualify it as testimonial. But quickly, let me move on to the endorsement. That the difference between testimonial and endorsement is that you can have a celebrity testifying about a brand, but you cannot have a celebrity endorsing a brand, except we use the celebrity endorsement approach, which is also another approach altogether. Okay. So please get me right or hear me well. There is endorsement appeal or technique which uses experts or professionals or specialists or somebody who is an expert in what he does.
If I should get this right, it means that I can endorse something but not necessarily be a user of it.
Exactly.
But I'm endorsing because I'm a celebrity.
No, you are endorsing it because you are an expert.
An expert.
Yes.
Okay.
So I'm talking about endorsement now, not celebrity endorsement. That's another technique.
That's another technique.
Yes.
Okay. So this for expert endorsement.
Yes, this is endorsement. That we need a professional, we need an expert, we need a specialist to be able to do so, because that specialist may be coming from Ghana Standards Authority or the FDA, may come or appear in the advert and assess the features of the brand and the performance of the brand based on certain criteria. Based on certain criteria, and then based on that criteria, if the brand qualifies, passes the test, then the expert can, based on his criterion or criteria, say that yes, the brand has qualified for this, qualified for that, qualified, and therefore stamps it or approves it as something at
the end of every ad, they say this advert has been endorsed by the FDA.
No.
Sorry, approved.
It's been vetted and
approved by the FDA. It's not an endorsement.
It is different from the technique we are talking about. You see, this advert has been vetted and approved by the FDA. It's a mandatory element. It is just a mandatory element to ascertain the fact that your advert has been approved, standardized, and allowed
every consumable
by
and
food,
food.
Because it's a requirement that before the product will be advertised, it must have gone through the rigorous processes and procedures of the FDA and also the GSA. So that it serves a different purpose, but we are talking about producing an advert and using a particular technique, which is endorsement technique, and that is where a model must appear and come and endorse a product on set. We are going to look at one pretty shortly.
Yes. So
that model has to be an expert. But it is different from testimonial. Testimonial, we don't need an expert. Testimonial can be anybody, but the person just has to be a bona fide user of the product.
I think that is clear. So there's another question.
After that, then we'll see the video.
People are enjoying the lecture, and thank you guys for your comments, and they are well appreciated. Keep your comments coming. There's a question here from Manuel Kofi. Please, can animation be used for service goods like cleaning service or banking service? Yes,
it can. You just have to create a character mascot, which will become like a clean master or a clean agent. A cleaning agent. So you create the mascot in an animated form, yes, and like the way Onga and Cowbell has done, and then you use it to advertise your brand. So you will see that character mascot actually doing the cleaning and everything, and you bring out the sharpness, the neatness, and all that in the advert, and what the brand can offer. That's it.
So there's another question from Bina. Please, sir, how do you get a testimonial when you are not getting people to know your product? Is it very vital at this stage, even if it has been recommended by law enforcement agencies?
Yes, it is vital at this stage once it's been recommended by law enforcement agencies. But if you take the first part of her question, she said, I didn't quite get that part. What was she really asking?
I think she's trying to say that. She said, let me read the question. How do you get a testimonial when you are not getting people to know your product? I think that is it.
In other words, how do you get referrals?
Exactly.
When people are not patronizing your brand.
Product. So probably you are new.
Yes, in the
market.
So what you need to do is actually get people to test your product. It is product samples and trials.
Okay.
And as they do, you pick up their experiences.
Like the activation?
Yes, like market activation.
Okay,
so you create a market activation, let people get access to the brand, as in samples of it, taste it, put a video camera on them or shoot them, take their experiences, do a vox pop or something, as in interview them, and then when you have that, as they share their experiences, you can then use it to advertise, and then people will now begin to also buy into your idea or your brand.
I love that. I love the reply. So another question here is, sir, with respect to what you have explained on testimonial, can you take legal action on a product if you watch an advert and start using the product but it does not get results the product alleges?
No. That is different. If the brand or the model who testified, you see, the emphasis is on the model. If the model who testified, it's not a user, then you can take him on. But if you watch the advert and the model just presented the advert, didn't say anything about it, and then you went to use the brand, and then you realize that it didn't perform as much as you expected, then you are only suffering cognitive dissonance and perceived risk, which you can't really complain to anybody, but rather pull out from the product, stop using it. Otherwise, the best you can do is to lodge a complaint with the Advertising Association of Ghana, and then they will pick it up by conducting investigations into it based on your statement and your evidence. Then yes, they can work on that one for you.
Wow. Wow. I'm loving the comments here. And some
can we see the video for the endorsement? Probably that will.
there's a video. Okay, good.
Yes, there's a video for the endorsement.
Wow. You see, Charlie, this lecture is packed. I mean, it's solid. Yes. There's a video for this endorsement.
Yes.
So let's watch this video quickly.
Watch it, yes.
And then we'll continue from there.
Great.
In this day where it's difficult to control diseases, buying second-hand mattresses can be risky.
So by the outfit of the gentleman, you can see that he's an expert. And from the way he's speaking, you can see that he knows what his business is all about.
So the outfit here, he doesn't have to mention who he is.
No, he doesn't have to, but his outfit alone will show you that indeed this person is an expert or is a specialist in what he does. Yes.
Sure.
Continue, please.
Some of these old mattresses are coming from garages, prisons, hospitals, and mortuaries. If you buy them, you do yourself. A latex foam mattress is literally the foundation of a good night's rest.
All right, so you see that's it. The fact that he's feeling the mattress based on some not criteria, but the way it feels. So based on that, once it meets the criteria, because it's not all mattresses that you have a press and you have a bounce back. This is more like an orthopedic mattress. So the effect he tends to get is what he will use to approve the brand. But if he did that, dropped his hand and his hand never returned or something, then yes, he could just call it off and say this is not good.
Rest and health. This is what happens to a man's spinal cord
then
when he sleeps on a poor mattress. And this is how
scientifically or health-wise, they are showing you what happens to your spinal cord if you should sleep on such a good mattress from latex foam. But if you sleep on any other mattress, then they are saying that you may have some damage on your spinal cord, which brings to mind the catchphrase of the advert, which is what you do yourself. Yeah.
Mattress supports your spinal cord. Treat yourself well, or else you do yourself. Buy quality, buy trusted brands. Latex foam, your partner for life.
Exactly. So that's endorsement, and there are a number of adverts on TV, even from Sensodyne toothpaste, where a dentist came on set to explain to us what Sensodyne does to sensitive tooth and the reason why you need Sensodyne. So from such an expert, we can take the message, believe in it, be convicted, and then also try the brand. That's how it works.
Great.
So I think we can go on to the next one.
Yes. So there's a question here, Sebastian. Right. You're asking, as well as your services you render are new, how do you get clients if your products are new? I think I'm not getting your question well.
Well, it's similar to the first question.
Exactly.
If your brand is new, how do you get customers? But the point is this: you have to advertise, and in advertising you have to, use a technique we call informative ads. Try as much as possible to give informative ads or bring enough information to your audience. And it is one of the essentials we mentioned over here that informative, whichever technique you are using must be informative. You must bring enough information to your audience.
Exactly.
And then the emotional appeal and then the rationale and all that. So, yeah.
Great. All right. So one last question, then we'll continue.
Great.
So please, can an advert contain two or more of these techniques, whether being a product or a service?
Yes, an advert can combine two techniques. Yes, but you see, like I always say, the easiest technique is problem solution approach. Okay, it's the underlying concept. Okay, but you use a particular technique to demonstrate that. Okay, you use a particular technique. So it may be animation, but you can use problem solution approach. Okay. It can be fantasy, but you can use problem solution approach. Okay. Whichever, yeah.
Okay, great. All right, so let's continue.
Yeah, I think you have to speed up a bit.
I think there are more videos for us.
Yes.
Yes, so let's speed up.
That's the next.
Oh, Madam Hisense.
That's the next.
One of my favorite ads.
Technique.
Yes.
So if you remember, I said I have to explain to you the difference between testimonial appeal, endorsement appeal, and then role model appeal. Now we are on the role model appeal. Another name for it is personality role model. Okay, so this is where you make use of a personality, and that person must be somebody who is celebrated in society, or a role model in society, or somebody that a lot of people look up to.
Like an influencer.
An influencer. Okay. Exactly so. So in this technique, it works almost like the testimonial technique, but the difference is that the person who advertises in a role model approach does not necessarily have to be a user of the product. No.
Okay.
He just has to be a celebrated person or an influencer or a role model in society.
Okay.
Okay. So once the person fits that context or that status, he qualifies to advertise, and that person does not necessarily have to say anything in the advert. I remember Andre Agassi, Serena Williams, and in Ghana maybe Dr. and Mrs. Joyce Ayi, and other people have been used because of their status in society. But in the advert, they don't even say anything, but just their image and the appearance of their image alone endorses the product, or advertises the products, and people believe in it because of the person who has been used. So for example, if Shatawale is used in a Storm energy drink advert for Kasapreko, just on the billboard and seeing Shatawale associated with the brand Storm, then a connection quickly is what? It's established. And then people are able to associate the brand with the celebrity or the role model, and that's it. They believe, they become convicted. If this person is using this brand, then I can also use it. That's it.
Based on their credibility.
That's all. Wow. So the contrast here is that if the reputation of the person is also tarnished or damaged, you don't use that person. Okay. Because that damage or that tarnish in reputation will be transferred onto the brand. And you don't want to associate your brand with any bad or negative thing of somebody's damaged reputation. So ideally, you just separate your brand from it. So if you remember when Tiger Woods got into crisis and he was accused of a number of issues, you see that quickly advertisers began to withdraw. They began to withdraw his image from the adverts. Because now it's like his image is dented. Somebody's prompting me about Asamoah Gyan. I don't know whether I should mention his name or not, but he's also a role model. And when he did this advert for Clean advert, Clean Soft or something like that, which is a detergent, you see that people began to use Clean Soft or whatever detergent it is.
All right. So I'm dying to watch this video.
Great. Let's watch Madam Hisense in a role model approach, because she's a role model in society
No, Madam High Sense me. What can I say? I feel as I'm sure was say, Mama what chili, me ya mama freezy. Mo passion na them. So we saw saying, we say Ghana a tropical zone. We say show the way to one them so. Now we say afraid me aduma ye na de ani shame with me say. And nothing am the High Sense double promo no ebro. High Sense air condition, and High Sense fridge. And here be. High Sense me my papa na chair. Conditional fridge and check current bonus there on the low 58 coming 28 September a double super hot discount High Sense air condition beer High Sense fridge beer ya take to someone will say I say pray 0302 550000.
Alright, so this one is almost like testimonial also because she's also testifying about the High Sense brand and how specific gadgets actually perform.
Problem solution
approach.
Where she spoke about Ghana as a tropical zone. If you don't have a good fridge,
because of the heat that we tend to experience and all that, so
your food will spoil.
Exactly. So she created the problem and then she brought the solution. But her status as a role model is what we are looking at here.
Okay.
And it makes it perfect.
So I think that answers the question to whoever is asking. I think Manuel Kofi, you are asking if you can have 2 or more techniques in an ad. I think this answers your question.
Yeah. So you see a combination of testimonial and role model approach.
Exactly.
Yeah. And I'm sure Madam High Sense will be using High Sense products in a house setting because of the fact that she has become the face of High Sense.
I'm sure her products
are you can't contest that.
Exactly.
I don't think you can contest.
There's a question here which I think has been answered. Well, can you try to promote your product by denigrating other similar products?
Denigrating?
Yes.
Can you try to promote your product by denigrating other products? No, it's not done.
Without actually mentioning the product's name.
Well, yes,
the product name
you can do if you don't mention the brand's name.
By using their colors.
If you use their colors, people will certainly connote or associate it with the brand, even if you don't mention their name. So there is some risk involved, and ideally you should desist from that. But there's a technique which is coming pretty soon, and you see that technique tends to adopt that kind of approach. Yes. It is called comparison technique.
Yes. So
comparison technique.
What about the Pepsi Coca-Cola rivalry in terms of ads?
That is just a rivalry, but you cannot juxtapose Coca-Cola with Pepsi. Okay. If you do that, you stand the risk of, rebuttal from each other or from whichever. Yes, I mean Pepsi has done it before, Coca-Cola has done it before, but in each case or whichever case, they ensure not to infringe on the rights of the other brand. So
probably they are just teasing.
It is a very delicate area to tread into, but
I see most of the ads and I'm like, these guys are just teasing each other.
Yes,
I think it was a young guy who was I think trying to reach for Pepsi.
Yes,
so he had to buy Coca-Cola, put them down,
and
step on them,
step up,
and get to the Pepsi.
To reach
that was such a tease.
Well, it's in some jurisdictions it is allowed, and their laws allow it. That cannot happen in Ghana.
No, not at all.
So if you look at the setting in which that happened, it looked more like a European setting or Arab setting. I'm not too sure, but it depends on the laws.
The laws
in that country. Yes.
Okay.
But when we get to the comparison technique, I'll add something to that.
I hope you are enjoying this lecture. I'm receiving more comments here, and
so maybe we should move to the next.
So far, so good.
Technique.
Yes. Let's move on to the next advertising technique. But kindly visit our website eladhub.com and find out more. This video will be uploaded on the website as well with the slides beneath it, so you can watch the video later on or take the slides somewhere else and read them as you watch the video. Yeah. So great. Yes, can we have the next?
So the next one is humor technique. This is where you just apply humor and make people laugh and make people happy. All right. So it is best to adopt a comedian, for the comedian or a professional comedian to actually come and present the advert. again, problem solution approach, but in a humorous way, using satire, using laughter and joy, socializing and things like that for people to have something to laugh over. And then it presents the brand. It's just like sex appeal. I've not mentioned sex appeal yet, and it is not part of my list of techniques here, but it is a brilliant technique which also works, especially in the European countries and America and all that. Here we don't tend to use sex appeal too much, but sex appeal also works. And then also there's a technique called a technique for children, where you use like infants to actually do the advert, and you have sympathy working for the brand because of the children, because people like adverts that are presenting children, sex and humor. Yes, exactly. Of course, and the comic that you tend to experience here in the humor makes it work. So let's look at some examples from Bell Malt advert presented by Lil Wayne, who is a popular comedian in Ghana.
I said, could you? Why are you hiding the drinks then? It's very nice. Well, check your bells.
So by their very act, it will make you laugh, and you tend to experience the humor in it. Yes, you tend to remember. So he realized that they went to steal the drink, but this time around he had to lock the fridge so that they don't get access to it. But then see what happens next. They're trying to steal the key.
Which means that
this is a brilliant concept.
Which means that they are really enjoying.
Exactly.
They needed more.
Yes.
But he has finished everything in the fridge.
He's finished everything in the fridge. So you have empty bottles in the fridge, and he has a real one in his hands. So it's like a joke, telling a joke, and yes, at the end of the day, it makes you laugh.
Nice.
Exactly.
You want to do anything
to laugh. That's it. That's it.
All the new malts
So let's move on to the next
with its exciting flavors, original and chocolate malt.
Let's move on to the next one. Wow.
Good. Yes.
Brilliant.
So I think we love this. Let's move on to
the next.
To the next one, the seventh one. Yeah.
Scientific technological approach. Well, I'm sure we'll see the technological approach later, but the scientific approach is also here. Okay. And this type of approach is quite straightforward. You just need to create an environment in a laboratory where you can do experiments. And use laboratory apparatus to experiment and show or indicate the potency of your brand within the experiment. Yeah. So you take your audience through some demonstrations, beginning from one test to the next and the next and the next.
I think
and the fact that,
has done that before.
your brand becomes the results. Okay. Yes, and Guel also has done that before. Shell has done it before, introducing their vein power product, fuel, and they used a laboratory environment to do that, and they used an expert, a scientist, to actually demonstrate that. So that is how the scientific approach works, and we can move on straight to the technological approach if you have it.
Yes.
The technological approach also uses technology, all right, and it uses a step-by-step approach to show the potency also of the product or the brand and how it can actually serve consumers. Okay, so for example, if you have to advertise a mobile phone or any technological device, it is important to use a technological approach to actually demonstrate to your audience how they can get the best or the most out of the brand just by taking them through the steps. So like, for example, click on this, go here, click on that, one button, and you are there. That's it. You get your product. So you use the technological approach to do that. Yes.
So quickly, let me ask, there's a question here.
Great.
From Obed King Gakulo says that, sir, with regards to using role models. What is the position on regulatory bodies preventing celebrities from advertising alcoholic products, since the celebrities have a lot of following?
I think he has answered the question. What is my position on regulatory bodies stopping?
Exactly.
It is not regulatory
alcoholic
bodies.
Products.
It is not that they are stopping the models or the role models from advertising, but it is that they are regulating the time, the period within which those adverts can be aired, because the FDA and the GNSA have come out clearly as to when such alcoholic products can be advertised.
No, I think
we have category A and category B.
I think they've been banned totally from advertising.
Yes, they have to be banned because earlier there was some leverage, and they were tied to time or restricted to time that category A drinks, which are below 5% alcoholic volume, could be done below 8 before 8 p.m.
Okay.
Then those that are above, that's category B, above 5% volume of alcohol should be done after 9 p.m. But people were still abusing it.
Okay.
You know, companies were still abusing it. So then eventually an outright ban had to come for us to see how they react. So it is not the models that have been banned, but rather that the time have been regulated and some of the drinks have been banned because they abuse the time.
Okay. All right.
They didn't comply with the rules.
It's almost an hour, and trust me, I'm not tired. I really want this to continue because some of you would want to go into.
So this is the 8th one.
Advertising.
Do you have dramatization and slice of life? Let's go to that one. That's also a brilliant technique. Dramatization and slice of life. I'm sure we have a video here for you to see. And this is a brilliant technique which makes use of everyday life scenes or sceneries. It makes use of real life situations. So the dramatization stands for the fact that you present the advert with a lot of drama. Okay, like a stage play where you have, you know, you have a dialogue between a number of people, and then they present the advert. So, for example, this way chocolate drink, Ephira, where you know you have a tenant in a hot argument with their landlord over a brand. So you see, a problem is created, and then a solution comes because of the brand, or the brand brings a solution. And that's what happened in that particular advert. And that's how you dramatize the advert to bring out the product. And then we have slice of life, which is also that we use real life situations to demonstrate. For example, I quite remember that the DVLA used or did an advert and used Obo, who is a famous musician. And in that advert, Obo advertised he was a key character, but there were others with him, and they demonstrated how people should wear helmets to prevent accidents and being injured or in accidents. So they should learn to wear helmets. And that advert used real life situations, because at a point there was an accident where a young man riding a motorbike fell with a lady, and when they fell, they had their scalp broken, and of course blood oozed out. And the very spot where the blood oozed out, the camera focused on it to show people that, look, this is real. This is real. That is slice of life. Reality. Okay. And once you show the advert in that real picture, then people are able to associate with it and, advise themselves and say that, look, it's better they avoid this. Okay, great. So slice of life must come as real and also in the drama fashion to make it. Yes. Well, so let's look at one.
All right, so let's watch this video. Dramatization.
We are almost finishing. I like this.
Oh, baby, I'm sorry. What is it?
One for international calls, this for cheap calls to any network, and this because I hear better.
Like seriously? Listen, you need to choose Vodafone Red. No one beats Vodafone network quality. When you're on Vodafone Red, you get more minutes to call your inter on Vodafone and your exter on other networks. Your brother who's abroad, test your roommates, browse the net, and you get all this for as little as 5 Ghana cedis. And the red experience that comes with it, discounts on movie tickets, free browsing at internet cafes, and you can get tickets to Vodafone events and parties. Close your mouth.
So that is where the drama is. Okay, close your mouth, and it's like, you know, So the surprise
I think there's a little
in
bit
the
of
face
humor.
of the and yes, the humor is also there, and the drama and the real life situation in the classroom environment where students are actually, you know, having a conversation about their SIM cards and, you know. And brilliant. I mean,
breaking her nail.
Exactly.
Swapping SIMs.
I think Funny Face actually did a good job in this ad. And it actually is a good example of dramatization and slice of life.
Okay, let's finish that.
So let's finish it.
Canada may dial *200# to subscribe to Vodafone Red.
Vodafone, power to you.
Wow. Brilliant. So
brilliant.
That's how it works.
Brilliant. Okay, so quickly there are a lot of comments coming in.
Okay.
Yes, and I think I love what I'm seeing. The followership has increased. The numbers are also too soon. We are getting to the end of this.
We have one more technique to go.
Yes, we have one more technique to go, and then we'll bring this to. So let's look at the last technique, and then we'll quickly wrap up.
So the 10th technique actually is comparison, and like I said I would add something to this. You see exactly what you can see. You can see Dove brand on the right, and then another brand which is faceless or brandless. Okay, no name is on the left.
Okay.
So if you want to compare, this is a safe way to do comparison. It will be more dangerous to bring a product, another brand, to juxtapose this and say that your brand, you know, is superior over the other. In some jurisdictions, like in the USA, it is allowed, but in our part of the world, it is not. So Ariel is good at it, where they bring, they demonstrate how Ariel actually can wash and wash clean. But another faceless brand, faceless brand, is not doing the job well. So then Ariel claims superiority. That's allowed, and that's okay. Once you are not showing a contrasting brand, and you have no right to do that anyway. So that's how comparison works. Okay.
I think I see one on TV too with Bet Planet.
Bet Planet, yes.
Yes, Bet Planet. So the guys talk about betting.
Yes.
They bet with different platforms.
Yes.
One got the money and one didn't get the money. He had to stand in the queue and all of that, and he was still in the queue to get the rest of the money. And the Bet Planet was telling them that bet with Bet Planet so that your odds are secure, fast cash out and pay out and all of that.
Yes.
I think that is also comparison, right?
Yes, but were they comparing it with another brand?
Yes, another brand.
Okay.
So there are two guys. One, they both did the same bets, the same odds, and they both won.
Okay, but one experienced something that was
exactly. So they just
the other. Okay.
So is that comparison?
Not really. Not really. It is still problem solution approach, and yes, a bit of comparison, but it is because the person first of all is sharing his experience with a brand.
No, both of them were sitting together and they did the same. They did the bet at the same time.
At the same time,
but one used a different company,
betting company,
and the other used.
Was it faceless?
Yeah, it was faceless.
Brandless.
It was brandless.
Then
it was faceless.
Then that's fine.
They didn't have to form a queue to go and get their money, but
then
they didn't get their money.
Then that's comparison.
So
then
they were actually comparing.
I get it. Yes.
Yes.
Then that's comparison.
So I think most of you have seen that ad to Bet Planet. You didn't bet Planet. You didn't bet Planet. So that ad is there for you. So also soon we've come to the end. So any conclusion?
Let's take a conclusion.
Any concluding remarks? Yes.
Yeah. So an advertiser can achieve his purpose by making the target audience understand an ad in the exact sense in which he intended it to be, by employing different advertising techniques for a specific audience. Okay. Advertising techniques mostly leave an impression about the ad in the minds of the audience. So this is where we wrap up. But in wrapping up, let me do a quick plenary and remind you of the 10 steps. Okay. First of all, there is an animation technique, there is a fantasy technique, and then there is a humor technique. You can have testimonial, endorsement, personality role model approach, dramatization and slice of life. We can have scientific approach, technological approach, and then the comparison approach. And don't forget, there are 3 essentials you need to consider when you are using any of these techniques, which is that you need to think about the rationale, okay, behind it. What concept are you going to use to actually cognitively engage the minds or attract the attention of your audience? And secondly, look at the information aspect. How much information can you give to enlighten your readers? And then thirdly, look at the emotional appeal. What you can do to actually excite the senses of your audience and let them have a feeling towards the brand. Brilliant. So this is how we wrap up.
Exactly. So we wrap up here. First of all, don't forget to follow us on our website, eladhub.com. We have all our daily videos there. If you want to watch more, it's
very interactive lessons. And there are other courses also you can get. It's not only advertising, but you can get other courses over there. And we're also on YouTube. You can visit our YouTube channel.
Our YouTube channel on ELAD Hub.
Yes.
And Valencia Teta is saying that really enjoying the lecture. Very sad it's coming to an end. And
we don't want to take too much of your
Sebastian
data. We could do about 2 hours.
This lecture has made me develop interest in serious advertising. And trust
brilliant.
me,
It's good to hear that.
Exactly. It's good to hear that. And I think we should do this again.
I'm sure we can do this again.
Exactly.
But you know, students are preparing for exams.
Exactly.
And this is supposed to be the last week. In fact, this was supposed to be revision week. But because of 1 more week of a kind of like a break, we've had to start exams 2 weeks time. And I'm sure had it not been for that, we could have done another session. But they should watch out for us next semester.
Exactly. Next semester we'll come up with more exciting live interactions like this. And yeah,
this video will be on YouTube.
Yes, it will be on. This video will be on YouTube.
Not only on Facebook, but also on YouTube. You can share with your friends.
Exactly.
And then you can get them to also subscribe in our YouTube channel.
Once you go onto our website and you subscribe onto our website, once this video is on YouTube, it will be available on the website as well.
Yes.
With the slides there. So those of you who didn't see what was on the screen, the slides will be available on the website www.eladhub.com.
So it becomes a double package. You have the video and also you have the slides.
And all of this is for free. And thank you guys for joining us. It's been an hour. Thank you guys for saving your data for us. And
so is the ELAD brand, all right? Your e-learning educational platform.
Exactly.
This is Mr. ELAD. I'm happy to hear your comments. I'm happy to answer your questions, and I believe that we have a lot more to do for you. We'll meet again another time, and you'll be happy you did. I'm sure.
Yeah.
We can end now.
Okay. All the best and enjoy your day. Bye bye.